And hello again, and here we are with the next episode about my Kawasaki Z650 project. That project has modern running gear and a more powerful GPz 750 engine, and the engine is right here in front of me as I'm slowly rebuilding it. So about a year or so ago, in fact probably longer than that, took the engine all apart, had the cases blasted and recoated, some high-tech sort of heat dispersant coating from a local specialist called Camcoat, and now at last I'm at the point where I can slowly rebuild it. Now I'm not an engine builder, so I'm doing it very slowly, very carefully and taking my time. So at the moment then, I've got the bottom ends back together again, I've got the crank in, I've got a new high vol chain there, got a new cam chain, I've got a cleaned and rebuilt oil pump, transmission is in. Now that transmission is not the transmission that the engine originally had, because that transmission had damaged splines on the output shaft. So it turns out, I was told originally that a Zephyr 750 transmission would work really well, and it has a longer output shaft which makes it easier to fit a wider back end. So I bought one, and guess what, it doesn't fit. It doesn't fit. So I've actually now got a 750, I think it's a 750E transmission, which is pretty much the same as a GPz1, so that's in there now, it's in better condition and all's good. So I'm about to fit the sump, but I did hit a problem because I needed 3 new O-rings, which I didn't have. It wasn't in the engine gasket set that I bought for it, so I had to go and find some. So I ordered some, and I was stupid because I calculated the size incorrectly. They're 20mm outside diameter, and they need to be 4mm thick, but they measure it from the supplier, measured it on the inside diameter, the ID. So I measured it, okay, I need 16mm and that gives me 20. But it doesn't, of course, because 16 plus 4 plus 4 for the thickness gives you 24, so they're too big. So I ended up having to reorder them. Luckily, I just bought 5, so they cost about £2. They've arrived yesterday, so now I've got those O-rings in place. So now all I've got to do is fit my beautifully coated sump once I get the gasket in place. So that'll go on like that. And I've even got a bag of brand new fasteners, so that's fine. I've also ordered a brand new sump plug as well, because that was a bit corroded and a bit tired looking. So anyway, so that's good, all that's good. But it's not all good news, because I've got a big problem. And that problem is because I can't find a box of parts that I need for the build. So when I took the engine apart at my friend's place about a year or so ago, it was all done very quickly, you know, rushing around, and everything we took off the engine. I quickly wrapped it up, stick it on a box and put it away. And there's quite a lot of boxes, you know, I've got boxes everywhere, and one box I can't find, and that box contains most of the clutch plates, pressure plates, springs and so on. It also contains the cam chain adjuster blades, cam chain adjuster, the rollers, and all kinds of small stuff. And it's annoying because I can't find it. I cannot find it anywhere. I have gone through my garage, I've gone through my conservatory, I've gone through my storage unit, can't find it anywhere. So it's like, oh no, nightmare. So what do? It also, by the way, included a little box of new parts that were quite expensive because they're like little seals and little things that I need for the build. And it's like, God, it's just so annoying because I don't know where it is. I remember where I put it a year or so ago, but it's not there now. So where could it be? I have no idea. Nobody else goes in my garage, so just a mystery, you know, just a complete mystery. And no doubt in 6 months' time I'll find it somewhere and go, oh my God, there it is. But by then I would have had to buy these parts again. Now the good news is that most of the parts I need are available used in quite good condition. And because these engines aren't that popular, the prices aren't too bad, you know, compared to a Z1 or a Z1000. They're probably less than half the price of what I need. But even so, it's probably over £100 worth I've got to spend, and then probably another £100 in new parts, plus the delay of finding them and getting the right one and making sure it's in good condition. Because in a photograph it might look nice, but when you get it, it could be, you know, no good at all. So that's a bit of a nightmare, because it means that once I put the sump on and turn the engine over, I can't make progress. I can't fit the bloody pistons, I can't fit the block. I'll just have to wait for these parts to turn up. So that is a bit of a downer. What else is happening? Well, yes, one slightly good thing is that I made or had made a set of rear sets, a one-off set of rear sets for the bike, and they look pretty good. But one of the mounting plates, the mounting holes wasn't drilled quite right. It was actually 3mm out. The other side worked fine, this side didn't. So I tried to widen out the hole a little bit, but it ended up looking wrong because I've got cap heads in there in the recess, and when you widen it out, it just doesn't look right. So, oh God. So I've had a new one made. My mate Jeff's made me a new one, and that fits fine. So I can now take those rear sets apart and again take them to Camco, the company who did the cases for me, and get them hard anodized. Now I want to take more than that with me. There's no point just taking a few parts. You want to take a big bunch of parts if you can. So what I wanted to do was also take all the covers, the side covers, the alternator cover, clutch cover and so on, and get them all blasted and recoated. I wasn't quite sure what colour and finish to use. I could go for, again, hard anodizing. That's quite a sort of satin white finish, or I could go for gloss, a sort of gloss black, like the original engine. That would be powder coated, or even Cerakote. You know, you can get some nice colours there. I can go for sort of bronzy type colour that will look quite good, I think, and match well with the wheels. I'm not quite sure yet. I have to decide. But then I hit a problem, yet another slight problem, because here's the alternator that I've dug out from the various boxes that I've got, and it's got a lot of damage. I did take a photograph of it, so I'll show you that now, but maybe you can see it there. It's been down the road and put a big hole in the base of the cover. Although strangely enough, it doesn't leak oil, apparently, because it doesn't go all the way through, or there's some sort of cavity there that doesn't go all the way in. But I can't fit that to the bike, so I'm going to order a brand new one. It doesn't have to be from a GPz, it could be from a Z650, it could be from another 750 like an E1, an E2, or even an L, because they all fit the same engine, so that's fine. So I've just got to find that. When it comes, hopefully I can take all the different covers along with the rear sets and get them all coated and get them ready to go back on the bike. So that's something at least. Of course I've got to take that off now and hopefully not lose it. Yeah, so there's the sort of current state of play with my engine build and with the bike in general. It's now actually February, it's cold, it's wet, it's been sleeting outside today, so I'm not going to go in my garage. Yeah, so I have been slowly ordering some parts, some missing parts from eBay. In fact, some of them are due to arrive today. So things I've not got anymore are things like this. This is the oil filter cover and also the bolt that goes on it and so on. That would normally go like that. This actually is from a different engine, so I can't use it. So I've ordered a used one, about 15 quid or something, so it's not a big deal, but I have not spent money that I don't need to on parts that I've lost. I'm so annoyed because I'm usually very good at keeping track of where things are, but in this case, you know, it's been more than a year, a lot's been happening, and yeah, it's just a nightmare. So that's the state of play. So we'll carry on with this video when these other parts have arrived, and I'll show you the rear sets and so on that I want to have coated, and hopefully by the end of this video I'll get the parts that I need. We'll get the engine flipped over, get the block on, get the pistons on, and hopefully get a bloody complete engine. But that might take quite a while because I'm waiting for parts and I've got to find the parts that are missing. So we'll end it here, and then I'll continue this video in a week or so when, as I say, hopefully I'll have the parts that I need. And that's about a week later, and I have been making some progress in buying some of the missing parts that I've lost for the engine. So we'll start off with something quite easy, which is this, the oil filter cover and bolt, along with a brand new oil filter. So that can go back in the sump, which by the way I've now bolted up, and that's the bottom end sorted out. I've also got, by the way, a brand new sump plug here, which is stainless steel and also magnetic. So that's pretty good. So another thing that's happened today is I've got this box that's just turned up. I've not even opened it yet, and in this box is a used clutch, a complete clutch. But I won't be using the complete clutch because I don't need to. What I need to do is get the clutch plates, pressure plates, springs and so on, because down here I've got the original clutch basket, which I've not lost because it was in a different box. And the reason why it's a different box was because we had to have it repaired. My mate Jeff's got a repair for these things because they do have rubber cushions inside here, which you can't see, and they develop wear, and it leads to sort of sloppiness, slack in the clutch. So he's got a method where he removes this plate here, which he shouldn't remove, and he makes spacers to take up the slack around each of those cush rubbers. That's now been done. That was done years ago, about a year or two ago now. So yeah, what I want to do is use this repaired clutch basket with the rest of the clutch in here, and hopefully, fingers crossed, I'll end up with one good clutch. It's possible this one's badly worn, I don't know. If so, I'll just have to buy some new clutch plates, but hopefully I won't need to, so we'll see. So what else is going on? Well, right now in the garage I've got a part that arrived this morning which is being cleaned in my ultrasonic cleaner. It was very, very dirty. So let's go in the garage and see how it's getting on. It's getting on. Let's turn this off. And it's been here about an hour now, so it should be pretty damn clean. I do need to change the solution soon and give this bath a good clean. I have been cleaning a lot of stuff in here recently, so yeah, you can tell, can't you? Right, let's have a look then. What we've got in here is the inner sprocket cover, which I had lost, and so I've had to buy this one. Luckily, they're not too expensive. So yeah, this is looking pretty good. I did scrape off the worst of all the muck, because obviously it gets all the chain muck building up here. But yeah, it's pretty damn good after about an hour. Now it does have 3 different seals. These might be alright, but I won't chance it. I'll have to change all those, and I think I do have all 3 of them already. If not, I'll just have to order the appropriate seals that are missing. So yeah, that's pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. This little sonic cleaner's been a real boon, because, you know, it's not perfect. It doesn't get all the muck off, but what it does do is, if you've got some muck that's really sort of ground into the part, it softens it up, so it makes it much easier to scrape off and clean off manually once it's been in here for an hour or so. So that's pretty good. So now let's go back inside where it's a bit warmer. Then so here's that cover, now clean and dry, and it will fit on the engine on this side round about there. Can't do it yet because I've got to replace these seals. Now they might be alright, but I won't risk it. I'll get them changed over. I also need to fit a clutch push rod, which I don't have, along with a little 3/8 bearing that sits behind it. Now you can't really buy them new, so I have found a used one on eBay, so I've ordered it and it should be here soon. Right, what else is happening? Well, yes, I did manage to find a replacement alternator cover, because the original one was damaged and, you know, from a crash. So that arrived the other day. So this morning I went to Camcoat, my local specialist coating company, with all of the covers, along with some aluminium parts taken from, say, the one-off rear sets for the bike, and they're going to coat those parts for me in the next, he reckons, about 10 or 14 days. So hopefully in about 2 weeks' time I'll go and pick them up and they can go on the bike, or rather on the engine. So I've got about 2 weeks now to hopefully get this engine finished in preparation for those covers to come back, at which point the engine can go back in the bike. I'll need help for that, because this engine's getting bloody heavy. I think when it's finished it's about 95 kilos. It's far from finished yet, but it's still at the point, maybe I don't know what it is, 60 kilos. It's getting bloody heavy for an old man like me with a bad back to keep on moving it around. So I'll need help to get it back in the bike. A, without damaging my back, and B, without damaging the finish on the engine or the frame. Yeah, you need help for that, at least 2 people. So yeah, that's progress so far. So in the next video, hopefully, we'll get the pistons on, barrels on, head on, get the cams in timed, get all the covers on, and we might just, fingers crossed, have a complete engine that hopefully will fire up come the day. Oh, one more thing I don't have as well is the ignition. Now I do have the original ignition, but it's from 1981. It may or may not work, we don't know. So I'm going to wait and save up and get myself a Dyna S ignition system. I've used them before on several bikes. I know they work fine, and I've got Dyna coils as well, so it all works well together. It's just a sort of no-brainer that they work, and it's brand new. So let's get it fitted to the bike. They cost about £212, I think, just for the ignition. So I'll be buying that next month. So anyway, that's it for now. I've still got lots of parts to find on eBay, and I've also got quite a few parts that I've found and bought that haven't arrived yet. But yeah, we are making slow progress. So that's it for now. So thanks for watching, and cheers.